No more whiskers. What's up, my fine apples? Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm excited because I have a Whoop or Womp for you. So today we're going to figure out if the new Fenty Beauty translucent powder, which is called the Pro Filter in the shade Banana, and also their new Pro Filter concealer is a Whoop or Womp. I'm super excited for today's video because I am a concealer junkie. I always love finding like the next best concealer. I love trying out translucent sets, so this is right up my alley. So before we get into the video, don't forget to subscribe if you have not already. Become a part of the Fine Apple tribe. Also, don't forget to click that bell so you get notified whenever I upload. My upload schedule is every Tuesday and Thursday, and vlogs have started again. I just uploaded a new vlog, so go check it out on my channel, What Would Lizzy Vlog. So now let's get into the video. First off, let's go into the concealer. I am so excited because there are 50 shades of this. I knew Rihanna wasn't going to disappoint in that. I like the concealer bottle as well. It's like that same exact casing as the Pro Filter foundation, which I end up putting on. I finally got my right shade, 280, a doe foot applicator, and it retails for $26. With the doe foot applicator, I'm going to show you right now what it looks like. I really like it. I don't think it's too long. It's not a big applicator. Kind of going away from the trend because I find that so many concealers now have such large doe foots. A lot of people end up not liking it just because it's so large. You can't get into like little crevices. I mean, I don't really mind it, but I do appreciate a small applicator because then you can really be precise, because sometimes we tend to get dark in this area. And if you go with like a big doe foot, it's like, okay, well, you just primed your whole eye. So I'm going to read what it says on Sephora. It says it's a creamy, long wear, crease-proof liquid concealer, light as air, medium to full coverage that brightens under eyes and conceals blemishes and redness. Start with a very thin layer and build as needed. A little goes a long way. I definitely start with very little in the application that you guys will see in the video. And then I also picked up the Pro Filter, what is this called? The Instant Retouch Setting Powder. I just think it's really nice. Most setting powders don't come in like a ton of shades, at least loose-wise. I like how she also coordinates each shade. Like say for instance, there's a lavender shade and it's for brightening shades 100 to 190. And then that's why I went with Banana, because it says for shades 200 to 290 and I have 280. Also, I forgot to say a big thing about the concealer. The concealer shade coordinates with all the foundation shades. So say like I'm a 280 in the foundation, I can pick up a 280 in the concealer and it's going to be the same exact match, which is really awesome. For the translucent powder, it is $32. It is 0.98 ounces. Super fine, weightless, loose setting powder in 8 sheer shades to perfect and extend makeup wear for a filtered, photo-ready finish on lock. Photo-ready finish on lock, sorry. So now let's get into the application of the products. I'm going to be placing the primer, the foundation, and the concealer, and the set. All right, guys, so let's get started. First off, I'm going to prime my face with the Fenty primer. This is actually a really nice primer. Nice and moisturizing. My skin right now is normal all around and I have an oily T-zone. I'm gonna go into the Pro Filter foundation. This one is in the shade 280. When I first did my review, I had shade 300 and it was just a little bit too dark for me, and then 280 was sold out, and I don't know, I just never picked it up. I kind of just made 300 work, but this is definitely my shade and I'm super excited, and it came a perfect time to get it. If you do it with a brush, you get more full coverage, but for me, with a sponge, this one is perfect. It's just like medium. Let's go into the concealer. I have the shade 240. Now, I will say I did end up picking up a second shade in the shade 230. I was like on the Sephora site and I accidentally hit 2 of 240 and then I hit 1 of 230, and you know, I was just picking shades. Well, 240 is pretty light, so I haven't opened up 230. Now I'm going to show you the shade 240 that matches me, and I'm just going to place that much. I'm not going to place a lot. I'm going to use my own sponge. I didn't pick up the Fenty sponges because, I don't know, I have my own and I figure lots of people do. First with a sponge, using very little because I find that we go so ham, but I want to show you how far this amount will go. Now that I have that blended out, there you go. I think it's a beautiful match. It's still nice and brightening, but not too much. So now I'm going to show you on this side with application of the fingers, just because warmth does really help. Now, whenever I use my finger, which is very rare FYI, but I just want to give you options, I usually always just go for the sponge. Sometimes using the warmth of your finger just really helps melt that product into the skin. But whenever I use my finger, I always go back in to finish like the whole blending job with a sponge. So here's with a sponge, and here's my finger, and I find that the finger actually looks much more beautiful now that I'm really concentrating on it and looking at it side by side. Whenever I tested this product out, I either just did sponge on both sides or I tried my finger and then I finished it off with a sponge, but today it blended out really nicely. That is the shade 240, and I think it is a perfect shade for me. I don't like anything that's too bright underneath off the bat, because then I start getting like a gray cast because of my dark circles, and I don't want to have to color correct, so I think this shade is honestly perfect. I absolutely love the packaging of this. I think it looks so good. It looks so glam. It feels nice and expensive because it is pricey, so I would hope it would feel like that. I just think it looks so luxurious, where I would want to put, like, say for instance, no shade to Laura Mercier, but I absolutely love Laura Mercier, but I would put their product inside here just because, I don't know, it's like you don't want to throw this away once you're done with it. So I would totally transfer that powder into here because that's my Holy Grail powder. They actually give you an extra little plastic sifter, which I thought that was really cool. I've never had a product give an extra one, and it has the F right in front. Whenever I open mine, I always just do it halfway. And I have the shade Banana. I've just been trying out different brushes. This one is just a Smashbox one, but I'm gonna take the sponge and place it right here. Just blend this out one more time. As you can see, it didn't like settle into my fine lines because, I mean, all of us have some sort of fine lines underneath, and this one did not. Very nice and thin. You didn't need like a ton of product. I could layer it up, so I'm gonna layer it up on one side, but I just wanna show you what it looks like with one layer. Now I'm just gonna take the powder, just very little, and start pushing that into the concealer to set it. Really nice and not super soft focus, but just like mattified and set. Layer the concealer so you can see what it looks like. We're just gonna add a little bit more right there, but then this time I'm gonna take the warmth of my fingers and then I'll finish it off with the sponge. I definitely wanna use the warmth because since this concealer has been sitting there, I want to make sure it kind of all blends together. You can see a really big difference. It definitely layers and definitely brightened up. Not too much, but just enough. Like I said, I think 240 definitely is my perfect shade. I wouldn't want to go any lighter or any darker. And if I ever wanted to go lighter, I would just use like a more brightening powder instead of having to like purchase another like bright concealer. That's another good tip. If you do a concealer that you think that maybe doesn't look brightening enough, just use a brightening powder or a brightening set. I haven't baked with this powder, and I don't plan on it because I am one where my under eye looks just like very scaly, and my skin is not meant to be baked. Okay, now I'm just gonna do a light dusting with the brush. This is a different brush. It's like definitely not dense. I went ahead and did the rest of my makeup, and I want to give you like an up close shot of the concealer just so you can really see it, like get up all in the nitty gritty. Like right now when I'm looking at it, it doesn't look bad. It just looks like slightly drying. But the thing with me is that what I like is that it's not settling into my fine lines. And I've found that some concealers literally bring like fine lines down here, and I'm just like, what's going on? Okay, so first off, I want to talk about my results. So when I tried out this concealer, I've been trying it out for the past 3 days. Now the first day that I used it, I wore it all day long. I thought that the coverage was really good. It was decent enough where I was just like, okay, this isn't like sheer coverage, and it is buildable. I used like a little bit more concealer on the first round, kind of like what I did on this one, except I didn't wait. I placed on quite a bit of concealer, like my usual amount, which does seem like a lot to some people, but I know a lot of us do have a heavy hand on it. Blended it out, set it, and it was pretty good within the day. I will show you my results. This is what it looked like. I thought that it didn't look bad, but I did feel like it looked a little bit dry. Also, then the next day I did try it out again. I thought that it gave me pretty much like the same exact results. I didn't use as much concealer, but I thought that it didn't look terrible. It does look dry though, but not as dry as other concealers. I also worked out with it at the gym because I wanted to see if this was water resistant and how it was gonna hold up. When I got back home, I almost accidentally wiped off all my makeup, and I was like, wait, I have my concealer still on. I almost forgot to get the shot, but I got it. So that's why there's like no makeup on that shot, and you could see like how I left my concealer and I caught it just in time. It is full on like waterproof because nothing dripped. I sweat a ton and nothing cracked or looked weird. Definitely water resistant to like its highest standard. Like I will tell you, that day I went ham on cardio. I also did an Instagram story, and when I was looking at my story, I was like, man, this concealer really held up. So I will give it that too. Okay guys, so I'm sure some of you are just like, okay, is this a Woop or is this a Womp? Oh my gosh, I will tell you right now, I think that this is just such a hard product to kind of say if it's a Woop or Womp. Do I see myself using it and continuously using it and keeping it? Yes. Do I see myself purchasing it in the future? Possibly. I don't think it's terrible, but I don't think it's amazing. I do love how it doesn't bring like my fine lines, and I like how they don't get extended and it makes like more like new fine lines. This is so waterproof too, and I'm someone where if I have my makeup on, I just work out with it. This one is so hard, like it really, really is. If anything, I would maybe say it's a Womp because of price point, and I don't know, and it looks a little dry underneath my eye. I can see myself using this like in the future. That one is such a hard one, you guys. I am super sorry on that because I didn't watch anybody else's reviews as well, and I think that's a good thing because I don't want to have an opinion like, oh, like, no, you know? So that's why I'm so confused, and I think that's a really good thing. I think it doesn't look terrible. What do you guys think? Do you think it looks bad? I mean, I don't think it looks terrible on my face. I mean, unless you're like really up close and you're gonna examine every little thing, it can look dry, but that's basically it. It worked out for my under eye, but it's not like the most hydrating. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think it's a Woop or Womp? I need your help on this one. Leave your comments down below. I would love to know. I think this is the first time where I was kind of stumped because it's not like I don't hate it. And if someone said, well, Lizzy, would you purchase it in the future? I'm just thinking I can kind of see myself purchasing it. Not like immediately, but I'm just like, hey, I've used that before. I like it. Let me get it again. Now, when it comes to the powder, I can't even say any cons of it. I love the packaging. I think it looks so glam. I love the powder. It sets all over my face really nicely. I kind of like that it doesn't give me that soft focus look. I need like different options, you know, because sometimes I want to go for more glowy, but this one, it just like mattifies me, but not too flat matte, and I like it. It's just good. It's a good set all over, but not just only for underneath the eyes, which is why I like it, because if it's only good underneath my eyes, I'd be like, I don't really need that. I love my Laura Mercier, but I find that this one is a good all over powder. If I were to say which one is better, or for which product for you guys to try, I would definitely say give this powder a try because it is my favorite. I've been finding a lot of good powders lately. Well, let me know down below if you guys have tried out any of the Fenty products. Always keep your receipts because you guys can always return to Sephora. All right, guys, well, that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed my Woop or Womp. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. I upload every Tuesday and Thursday, and yeah, love you, fine apples. Mwah. Whoop, whoop.
Here we go, it's all about you, it's all about me, it's all about what we do. Making art, you and me, trying to find something to believe.